Hi, I'm Maddie, and I'm going to elaborate on Lisa's topics of how showing cattle is not just about ribbons and trophies.
Okay, so do you have a background in showing animals?
Yes, in the eighth grade, I showed a bull, and I also showed two steers in high school my sophomore and junior year.
Was your school more about winning or having fun while showing?
My ag program in high school wasn't necessarily the best. Um, it was more just, I would definitely say for fun while I was in high school. We never really won anything. We didn't have a lot of people showing cattle. In middle school, we were definitely a lot more competitive. We showed at state level. Um, and, but I mean, we still had a lot of fun with it. We spent every afternoon out there, and with our ag teachers and friends would all come and hang out at the land lab, but we were definitely there to win money in middle school for sure.
What's one of the biggest problems you have seen in the showing world?
So for me, I definitely don't come from a super like rural area. My high school was really redneck just a few years before I got there, and then it started to become a little bit more preppy, and people weren't really into the ag and all that. So there was a lot of like the PETA talk when I was in high school, which, aggravated all of us ag kids. But for the most part, those that I surrounded myself with understood why we were doing it.
What is showing to you and what does it mean to you?
So I was blessed with the opportunity to be able to show cattle. All of my animals were chapter animals, meaning I didn't have to pay for them on my own. I wouldn't have been able to pay for an animal if I was not given that opportunity. So it was something that I really, really wanted, and I worked really hard for to be able to earn those positions from my chapter. It was always really fun. I loved all of my animals, all for different reasons. They had great personalities, and I loved watching them. My steers would interact with the lambs on campus, and they'd run around and play, and I taught them tricks, and it was just so much fun to watch them grow up and to see the different personalities that every animal had.
What would you want people to know about showing if they didn't know anything about it?
So showing, it teaches a lot of responsibility. I know at my land labs, both middle and high school, we were not big on calling a vet if your animal was sick. A lot of our steers would grow like warts on their faces. That was not something that we would call a vet out for. We had a fridge full of medicine, and we'd have to diagnose whatever they were having, whether it was a respiratory thing or we had to remove the warts and treat it ourselves. And for a 14-year-old, that's huge, and that's terrifying to treat your animal that means so much to you. But looking back on it now, it's really like shaped who I am and my responsibility for the animals that I have in my life now.
What did showing teach you? And do you still use it to this day?
So definitely it taught me a lot of responsibility, and then just the showing world. I still have friends who are younger than me in high school, some cousins and stuff like that, that are showing, and I still get to use my knowledge in the show ring to help the younger generations learn the things that I love. And it's also really open or like broadened the agriculture world for my life, and I've taken that knowledge and spread it throughout the community to teach others about ag and how it's not just, we kill animals for meat and your meat comes from the grocery store and not a farm. It's definitely taught me the responsibility, but also more just about agriculture in general.
Did you see judgment inside or outside of the showing world?
So definitely both. Again, my high school was not, by the time I got there, was not super into ag. So everyone thought it was like gross or funny or whatever when you'd show up to class in your jeans and boots, and you're covered in dirt and many other things that come from the land lab, but you were just there the period before taking care of your animals. So there was definitely like the laughs and the giggles and stuff in high school about everybody in ag, but definitely in the show ring, there was those people who were there for money. They were not there to lose. They had worked hard all year, which I know that it's competition, but you sometimes could see it in the way they treated their animals and the way that they treated others, because they were just there for that check.
Compare show cattle to farm cattle.
So my show cattle were definitely treated better than the cows that we had when I was a kid. As a kid, they were just kind of fun. You'd throw them some food, and, we had a few calves when I was a kid, and the bull was just an issue, and nobody really paid attention to him because he was always breaking out of the fences. But my show cattle were loved. They were given treats. They were fed so much food. They were walked. They had, other cows to play with. And then now that I'm in Sigma Alpha, I have seen more professional farms and how they operate, and those cows are just numbers, if even that, and they're purely there for the purpose that that farm serves, whether that's genetics or meat. So it's definitely different in every aspect between family farms, professional farms, and show cattle.
All right, well, thank you for letting me interview you.